Warning, I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot, but I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised. From crazydaysandnights.net, Monday, March 12th, 2018. Blind item number 8. The Mogul and 2 of his toys. Mr. Hedge. A few years ago, a certain aging A-plus list mogul allegedly traveled a considerable distance to meet up with a far younger man he had been dating. The young man was a college athlete in a very high-profile sport. The mogul was allegedly caught with this young man in a very embarrassing situation at a very inappropriate time, in less than a private place. The college is located in a very conservative part of the country, and it caused quite a scandal. The whole thing went downhill for both parties pretty soon afterwards. It was revealed that the mogul met this young man while he was very legal on a website for that sort of thing. I use the term allegedly because recently it appears as though the mogul has been somewhat successful at getting the first part of the story changed from what was reported at the time to cover its exposure. The second part of the story went through the court system on a couple occasions, which meant that part could not be controlled so easily. Almost 2 decades ago, the mogul invested as a minority partner in a certain entertainment company, which was basically a front to get underage boys drugged and raped. 3 young men sued the operators of this entertainment company for being drugged and raped while underage. They won a court judgment, but sadly got next to nothing, as the company operators had fled the country. About a year before he fled the country, the head criminal at this company got into a legal dispute with the mogul. Court documents revealed one of those 3 young men was an aspiring actor who left the entertainment company to go stay at the mogul's house. Around the same time, this actor was given a small part in a film made by a certain A- list director. The part, as constructed, didn't really fit the particular film's story, but nobody cared. Of course, our actor never had credit in anything else, before or since. Our actor never included the mogul or director in any legal action. After this all happened, the actor changed his name and basically disappeared. Once, in recent years, he briefly reappeared to help the director defend the lawsuit he was facing. And the answers they're looking for: the mogul, the company, the head criminal, the actor, the director. This blind item seemed a little obvious, but I wanted to make a video because I think it might come in handy in future investigations. Let's look at the clues. And the clues. An aging A-plus list mogul traveled a considerable distance to meet a far younger man a few years ago. The younger man was a college athlete in a high-profile sport, and they were caught doing something embarrassing in the wrong time in public. The college is in a conservative part of the country. Almost 20 years ago, the mogul invested as a minority partner in an entertainment company, which was pretty much a front for drugging and raping young boys. 3 men sued the operators of the entertainment company for being drugged and raped underage. They won, but got next to nothing because the company operators fled the country. About 1 year before fleeing, the head criminal got into a legal dispute with the mogul. 1 out of the 3 men left the company to stay with the mogul. He had a small part in a movie by an A- list director. His part never fit the film's story, and he's been in no other movies before or after. He's never had any legal action against the mogul or director, and disappeared and changed his name, but he did come back to help the director in a lawsuit. The aging A-plus list mogul. An article from 2014, David Geffen takes out restraining order against his 20-year-old former college football player ex after ending affair. David Geffen takes out restraining order against his 20-year-old former college football player ex after ending affair. A 20-year-old ex-college football player is facing a felony stalking charge for disobeying a court order to stay away from David Geffen. Jamie Coons was arrested in October and accused of following, harassing, and making a credible threat against a 71-year-old billionaire, philanthropist, and music mogul between September 14th and November 14th. The one-time football hopeful is due in Los Angeles court on Wednesday and made headlines in 2012 when he was taken off the North Dakota State College of Science team when he was caught on video kissing his then 65-year-old boyfriend in the press box during the game. He ended up having to leave the college, which he attended on a partial football scholarship, At the time, the North Dakota State College of Sciences said he was disciplined and removed from the team. It wasn't because it was gay, it was because he lied about his gay kiss. Kuntz and his 65-year-old boyfriend were in the press box at the game against Snow College in Pueblo, Colorado over the 2012 Labor Day weekend. Kuntz was videotaping the game for the team when the kiss just happened, he said. People around here aren't exposed to it, Mr. Kuntz said of homosexuality. People expect gays to be flamboyant, not football players. A teammate apparently saw the kiss and told coaches. When Mr. Parsons confronted Kuntz on the bus ride back to North Dakota, he told him the man he kissed was his grandfather.
Hey Mark, isn't life great? I mean, all we ever do is hang around the mansion, find young boys on the internet, and then trick them into coming back to our hot tub where we fuck them. I love LA. Well, yes, sodomizing young boys is something I enjoy very much. But another part of me has always wanted to start a business, get venture capitalists to invest millions of dollars, hire a whole bunch of talented people, and then, somehow, fuck the whole thing up. Okay, but we'll still be able to sodomize young boys, right, Mark? Of course, silly. Now come over here and brush your teeth with my dick.
What makes Den different than other internet companies that have come before it? It's a fusion of the marketing power of Madison Avenue with the technology of Silicon Valley and the entertainment of Hollywood.
Everybody was just throwing money at them. David Geffen, I believe, put in $250,000.
So if it's David Geffen, the company is definitely Den. And if the company is Den, then the head criminal is Mark Collins Rector.
We're creating a new form of entertainment to serve the global youth audience.
And they went to different places in Europe, hopefully to avoid being arrested. And somebody gave them up in Spain. Chad and Brock were released quickly, but Mark was in prison for 1.5 years waiting to be extradited to the U.S. Eventually, he was sent back to the U.S. and pled guilty to 9 counts of child sexual abuse. Mark got out of jail relatively quickly, but was required to register as a sex offender, and shortly after his release from prison, requested that he be allowed to travel to England for medical reasons. He did, and he never came back.
Wow, this sure is a great party, Mark. I just love doing coke and spending millions of dollars of other people's money while buggering young boys. I love it! And the great thing is, it's never going to end.
Then the A- director is Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer, he had $50,000. Michael Huffington put about $5 million into this. It must have been $150 million that was pumped into it.
Hello, I'm Bryan Singer, and you're watching Rollywood at www.den.net.
Bryan Singer is a very prominent director in Hollywood. He's done some pretty major movies, The Usual Suspects, X-Men, X2, so there's been quite a lot of, you would recognize his work.
Alleged Bryan Singer associate was sued in 2000 for sexual abuse by X-Men actor Mark Collins Rector, who allegedly hosted parties where he, Bryan Singer, and others sexually abused teenage boys, was sued in 2000 by 3 people for sexual abuse. One of them was Alexander Burton, who played Pyro in the first X-Men movie.
And yet here she is, with others her own age, learning, being accepted, not feared.
John.
Sorry.
Alexander Burton, the actor who played Pyro in the first X-Men film, was a plaintiff in a 2000 sexual abuse lawsuit against Mark Collins Rector, a registered sex offender and former executive of Den, who allegedly threw parties at his Encino, California mansion where Bryan Singer and other men who worked in the entertainment industry provided drugs and alcohol to teenage boys and sexually abused and threatened them. 1/3 of the men, the one with the small part in a movie by an A-list director, left to go stay with the Mogul. And this is from Brock Pierce's testimony. We confronted Alex, and Alex got very upset, and he stormed out in front of all three of us, plus Rector and his family, saying, "If you want to find me, I'll be at David Geffen's." And Alexander Burton, or Alex Burton, has been in X-Men 2000, a small role, and nothing since, and nothing before. Case closed. Fucking stoned.